Hey guys, it's me, Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. Today we're going to talk about our favorite subject, which is sales and furniture. I got a great episode for us today. So what we're going to talk about is what do you see right there? Dining room sets. Okay. And then also in this particular one, we've got little nook sets where you can go ahead and have a little breakfast table right in a little nook or an area. So what we're going to talk about is, a lot of times when people come into your showroom, you've been real polite. You've told them about your financing. You told them about, where they're located. And you also make sure that, hey, we got guarantees that'll cover them up to 5 years in case something were to happen. We'll cover the fabric and we'll cover the wood and we'll cover for breakage. Because see, when you buy a table, they got chairs. And unfortunately, sometimes we got people that are a little bit heavier than the average bear. And they can tear up some chairs. So you want to always make sure that through your presentation, you sprinkle some great information about your guarantees and also your financing. Because see, not everybody's going to put it on their Visa and not everybody's got a lot of cash. So if you can help them walk them through a simple process, you can help them buy something that'll be there for their home for a long, long time. So let's just take a look. When you're looking at, say, for instance, what you do is you tell your customer, go look around, and you'll kind of watch them and everything. They'll sit down. And then what you'll do is you approach, and when you approach, what you'll do is say, well, what do you think about this particular one? What do you like about it? And they'll say, well, I like the way it looks. Does it come with 4 chairs, 6 chairs, 8 chairs? Well, what you see is what it comes with, but we can order 2 additional chairs if that's what you want. A lot of times they'll also come with bundle packages. Bundle packages means you can get 4 chairs, you can get the table, and if you want to order the sideboard, if you want to order, additional features, they got different things. They got different types of tables that have centerpieces in the middle of them. They have different features and different color chairs and different styles of chairs and different styles of tables. So when you talk to a customer, do you like this particular one? And if you have a vignette or where you can actually look at pictures, if they have different styles of the table, you want to make sure you point those out. Remember, it's all about features and benefits when you first, when you're trying to sell something. So when you walk up to this particular one, you notice the first thing that I always do is I say, please have a seat and see how it feels to you. And then I'll take a chair and I'll pull that chair and I'll turn that chair upside down. And what I like to do is I like to show the coils and the springs that are inside this. I also talk about the tufts. Now, a lot of chairs, they can break. So what happens, and I point that out, what happened to yours? What's wrong with the table set? Or how old is the one you got? Is it heirloom quality? Are you giving it away? Did you just move into a new home? Were you replacing an old set? What were you trying to do? And see, you do this not real fast, like you just drop those little hints of about why they're there to buy. Well, they got 4 or 5 kids with them. They look pretty rough. Or maybe it's just a lady and her husband. You always want to ask who else is going to be using this besides y'all. Are you planning on putting it in the dining rooms where you're planning on using it a lot? Or is this going to be in a special room where it's just going to be for an occasional? Because some people buy occasional dining room tables. Some people buy stuff that they're going to use all the time, and you want to kind of clarify that. And you also want to make sure that you show them the chairs. You show them the back of the chairs, how they're made, see the tufts, and see how they've designed this, and you point it out. And you also, you flip the chair, you show the inside of the chair. You want to talk about, well, if there's going to be any problems or damage, a lot of times it's because people creep back in the chairs and they break. And what we do is we make sure that if you have our guarantee, if we can't fix it, we just replace it. And a lot of times we have to replace all the chairs because if it can't be repaired, we got to make sure. Now, it depends on your warranty and your guarantee, so don't go ahead and sell yourself short, but you want to have that conversation. Chairs are very important because that's what they sit on. Now, the next thing is you want to talk about the decorativeness of the chairs, if it has decorative chairs, if it's a wood chair, or is it a fabric chair. And you also want to let them know that, hey, we even offer fabric protection because people generally eat on this. And if you got some wine or some colors that come with different types of food and grease and stuff like that, if you get it on the chair, we can help you get it out. And if we can't, we have to replace it. Okay, just saying, guys. You always want to sell your extended services, but don't oversell because sometimes people will say the wrong thing. So know your guarantees inside and out. Also, what you want to talk about is you want to pull the chairs back. You want to show the base of the table. You want to show how the foundation of the table. And what I do is I take my phone and I do this right here and I say, see that right there? This is how this is made. And a lot of times you don't see this. A lot of salespeople, I've never seen them do it, but very occasionally I might. If you notice, these are all screwed in like this. These particular screws are of a special type. And if you notice, they bundled them all through the whole thing to make this look more luxurious and make it last a long time. So you can show all the features by using your phone to see what's underneath it. Also, you want to show the different things here, and you want to show the base of it and how it works. Because sometimes you have a single pedestal base. Sometimes you have a table that has 2 bases. Sometimes they have 3. So your bases are very beautiful. Look at all the artwork, the design. Can you see that? Look at the decorative. See how they bellowed that? That took a lot of time with somebody to make it look as pretty. So in that room where you're planning on putting it, are you replacing something, or what do you got now? What's wrong with the one you got? Oh, okay. It's old. Were you planning on giving that to your son? What you're doing is you're trying to figure out their hot point, their hot button. Oh, it's broken. Well, what happened to it? Well, we've had it for 50 years. We're not wanting to keep it anymore. It just doesn't look right. And then also remember, guys, you want to talk about what it's made of. You want to talk and you want to know what the product. Remember, if you know what the product is, this is of a hardwood pine finish. They've decorated it. They've also set it up. And if you know, it's got a knotty pine right here. So it's different. So all the tables, this is a classic table. This is a table that's going to be around for a long time, but it's unique because every one of these tables is made specifically. And if you notice the accent chairs, you notice there's 3 different color chairs. Those are the different colors that you can get. You can get red, blue, black. Why, it don't matter. Whatever type of chairs that are available, you want to be able to give them the choice between these 3. Or if it comes with a captain's chair, or if it comes with standard chairs, you want them to have the choice. Well, do you want this type of chair? Do you want that kind of chair? And you give them choices. And you also offer the accent pieces. You know, what do you think about this particular piece here? Sideboard, what were you planning on using it for? Some people, believe it or not, they put a big screen TV on it. And they may go, oh, I don't never do that. But in the back of their mind, they're thinking, okay, maybe. And then they've got different things that they have in these little vignettes. So when you're trying to sell just the table, you also want to sell everything that goes along with it. And then you point out, in that particular room, does your room look like this? And they'll go, no, it don't look like that. Well, we have professional decorators that decorate our rooms for us. And each and every one of these things that you see right here are for sale. Do you notice all the different accent pieces? And by buying a complete set, it's not going to change your monthly installment hardly at all. But what it will do is make that room look really, really good. And see, you've also, before you even got there, you're going to ask them some simple questions. How big a table were you thinking about getting? If you hadn't had a chance, you want to ask them, do you want a round table? You want a square table, a rectangular table? Do you want a particular type of styles? You want a modern style? You want an older type style? There's a lot of different things that you can ask. And see, here's another thing, like a little nook table. Okay, they come in, they're looking for something to put in their kitchen, but they don't need something real big. And see, what you can do is you walk up to the different sets. Sometimes you'll have 4 or 5. Sometimes you'll have 10 or 15. It depends on what type of company you work at. And again, you want to point out the obvious. Do you notice the bolts here? Do you see how they're set up? This is a very heavy chair. Okay, and that means if you guys are planning on sitting on it, or if you got kids that are rough on it, it's going to last a long time. Again, we also offer a 5-year guarantee on it. So if something were to go wrong with it and we can't fix it, we'll replace it. And you also talk about the base. Remember your base. You talk about the top. Some people, they like glass tops. Some people don't like glass tops. So you have to ask, what do you like? And if they sit on a particular table, they're thinking about owning that particular table, and your simple simple job is to walk them through the process. Okay, well, I see that you like that. It's got a 5-year, it's got a manufacturer's limited 90-day, 1-year part in labor. What we do is we offer a 5-year guarantee for any repairs or service or replacement if something were to go wrong. It doesn't change hardly your monthly payment at all. And we can go ahead and have this. We've got it in stock. We can have it delivered along with your bedroom suit, because I know you came in here earlier for that, and we can deliver that out next week. So would that be all right with you? And they'll say either yes or no. Well, we need to, okay. Well, so that's okay. So what you do is you get back in there and start selling again. You start showing the features and the benefits. What are you going to be using it for? Who's going to be coming to visit your home? Who's going to be sitting at this table? Can you see yourself on Sunday morning sitting there drinking your coffee? Or are you getting ready to go to a ball game? Or you got a birthday? Or you got an anniversary? Remember, when you're selling living rooms or bedrooms or dining room suites, they have their own purpose, but you got to create a value, make it important. Why are they wanting to look at it? What's in it for them? How are they going to benefit by owning that? And if you notice this particular one, it sits at least 6, that's 3, 6 chairs. That's a 8, that's a 3. You can put up 8 chairs on that, and you can have a Thanksgiving dinner. You can have a party. You can have that. And see, you want to talk about also the different types of guarantees and service agreements, okay? Never let them leave without buying a warranty or a service agreement, because if something goes wrong, I guarantee you, you're going to have a bad day that day. They're going to come back and say you sold them junk. But if you got to at least give them that information. You talk about what's in it for them, talk about your guarantees, you talk about when you can have it delivered, and you want to make sure you get it delivered as soon as possible. You also want to ask, well, what next thing when you're planning on purchasing something? I know you came in here just primarily for the table. What else were you thinking about down the road? Well, we were thinking, because once you sold that, you can always do add-ons. You can add on art. You can add on accessories. You can add on sofas. You can add on bedroom suites. I mean, you can add on chairs, knickknacks, art. There's just so many things that you can add on to a sale. See, once you get the first sale, and remember, the first sale is them finding something that may be interesting to them. You've asked them a lot of questions about, hey, what's wrong with what you got right now? And what do you like about this particular one? Who's going to be sitting on this? Who's going to be using this? Can you see yourself and your family sitting here at dinner time having a conversation with dear old grandma and papa? And so what you're doing is you're creating value. You're also creating pictures. You're putting the customer in it. And make sure you always ask, okay, we can go ahead and set this whole room up, this whole package, if you go ahead and your monthly installments are going to be $135. So what do you think? And they'll go, well, that's not too bad. All right, just write it up. And then you talk about something else, and then you move on. See, here's the thing. When you're trying to sell furniture, it ain't real hard. People want to buy something. They just don't want to be sold stuff. But they also want to make sure that it lasts them a long time. And see, not everybody's going to buy your service agreements, your fabric protection, and your warranties. But that's okay. We're going to sell it anyway. Okay? So I hope you had a good time with me today. I had a good time with you today. We just talked about selling. Oh, what? We're talking about dining room tables. Okay. And we had a lot of fun. So I hope this little video gave you some insight. And remember, you got to ask for the order. But if you ain't asking for the order, you ain't selling. My name is Gary Lee Stanley. Give us a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe. And go ahead and make sure that if you try to sell something, don't do it as fast as I did. But take some of those points and use them and sell. And I promise you, you got to ask for the order. And you got to make sure you say, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And you write it up. All right.